All right, let's do some advertisements. Advertisements, as Howard Stern says. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Advertisements Before Just Joking. Our show is brought to you today by our lovely sponsors. The first one being Above Water CBD oil. I like CBD oil. I didn't think that I would be one of those people. I just saw, I think it was on someone's Instagram stories, where someone got high off of CBD. And I went, you know what? You should have had Above Water. I didn't type it. I said it in my mind to myself because...
I don't think you can get high. I think they thought they were high.
Oh, no. This person was fucking high.
They were high?
So they might have laced their CBD oil with something else.
Okay, well, yeah, then maybe you were high. That's not the CBD.
What are you?
Because I have literally tried to do it once. I smoked so much CBD, and I could not get high off the flower, and nothing. Nary a buzz.
Maybe you're like that nurse that you guys are going to hear about later.
You think it was a placebo? It was oregano, maybe?
I do. I think they gave you oregano oil.
I did buy it from a guy outside of a high school.
Well, there it is. Okay. It was hot pepper oil.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah. It made you Italian, and then you sexually harassed your coworkers.
It was delicious.
Above Water CBD oil. Look, it's really good. It doesn't get you high. It makes you feel good. Sleep better at night. No muscle soreness, which is really great. It even clears your skin up if you're into that sort of thing. It's made in California in small batches. It's grown in Oregon, just to prove that it is made from the best stuff on earth. I don't know if Snapple still uses that. You guys should use that.
I think they do.
Above Water. Do they? Well, Above Water CBD is also made from the best stuff on earth. CBD oil.
Made from better stuff.
Made from better stuff than the best stuff on earth. Go over to abovewater.co. Use promo code JustJoking and save 20% on your order. Tell them Paul Hogan sent you. Our next sponsor is Silk City Hot Sauce. Love these guys. I am running low. I don't know if you've seen my bottle collection over here.
Down to 5.
I'm down to 5. I had a whole fucking shelf full. I was bogarting it. Down to 5 right now. I use this on everything. You know what I had? I had a salmon burger the other day. Trying to be healthy. Had a salmon burger. And then to counteract the healthiness, I mixed some mayo and buffalo sauce. And I put it on the burger. And it was fucking delicious. And I got to tell you, it's like I wasn't even eating salmon, Adam. It's the best way to do it.
Salmon can be delicious.
It can, if you're into that kind of thing. I'm not.
I do a barbecue spice rub.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That almost got sexual. I fought all of the instincts to do it. The way that you just said rub got me. I was like Robert Kraft in a Florida strip mall.
I might have to resign from this podcast 14 days from now.
14 days, a year and a half later, we're still doing it. Head over to silkcityhotsauce.com. Buy any type of flavor you can. I really like the Killer Hot. I also infuse that with my honey and my syrup, and that makes a good breakfast accompaniment. Can never say that word correctly. Our buffalo sauce, just joking, very serious, buffalo sauce is amongst the best I've ever tasted, and I'm going to make Adam laugh at this. And I've tasted Domino's, and it's better than Domino's.
That's right.
I'm telling you. I thought Domino's had the best buffalo sauce. Don't even fucking mention Frank's. I know you're going to. No. Silk City fucking cornered the market on the buffalo sauce. It's thick. It's made from actual natural ingredients. It's good for you, as Chad Zumach says. And I gotta tell you, it's fucking good on everything. Dude, I put buffalo sauce. I buffalo everything in my house now. And I've not regretted a second of this. SilkCityHotSauce.com. Use promo code JustJoking and then save 15% on your order. You're going to get another bottle of hot sauce and you're going to get some stickers. And with those stickers, you can stick them on your aids as you walk past them in the office of the governor's mansion. I'm slowing down hard. I'm fucking crashing. Our final sponsor is Voodoo Ranger. Love these guys. Tied one on last night. My wife and I had a date night over in Jersey City, and we came home, had some Voodoo Ranger
Which
IPAs.
one did you have?
What did I have? I think I had the Purple Haze last night.
Okay, I got the Juicy Haze in my fridge right now. I
I
recommend the Juicy Haze.
Adam recommends Juicy Haze.
That's also
for all
my
of your
That's also my OnlyFans URL.
Juicy Haze.
Juicy Haze.
You're not Adam Cups.
Cups.
Dude, she's smoking hot. Check out Voodoo Ranger at newbelgium.com. They make Fat Tire. They make a bunch of other beers. Voodoo Ranger tops all of them. It's a good beer. Look, drink it with dinner, drink it on the couch. Drink it when you're resigning from office. It is fantastic.
A lot of call aheads in this.
A lot of call aheads. I can't get it out of my head. We've been covering this guy for fucking months, and I can't get it out of my head.
Finally over.
Voodoo Ranger. That's it. That's all I have left. NewBelgium.com. And thank you guys for supporting the podcast. This is a fun show. I like this one. This has an old-time guest coming on to hang out. I haven't seen him in a while. Look good. Look great. Fun. Also, I'm going to tip you guys off. The cold open did not go as planned. And I'm softening the blow by telling you we got the best of me this week. 80 episodes, baby. I like I think I'm what would I be? I'm 77-3 right now on my record for the cold opens. But after the intro, he did throw in a couple jabs, so I'd like a half point for that one. Check out the episode, rate, subscribe, download, give us a review wherever you download your podcasts. And also, I would be remiss to tell you that Paper House Network is now doing live stand-up comedy shows with the comedians that have shows on this network. They're at New York Comedy Club on 4th Street every other Thursday. It is a 10-15 show. I'll be hosting this week's episode this week's show with 3 other comics from the network. And I'll probably be a part of it in some capacity moving forward. So if you do want to see us live or you want to check out other shows on the network, head over to NewYorkComedyClub.com and use Just Joking or Paper House for $5 tickets. Cheapest show in town, one of the best, I promise you. And tell them I sent you. And give us a review. And enjoy the show. We're fucking running here. This is a long one. It's a lot. This is like an advertisement after the advertisements. I got nothing left, Adam. Let's just do the show.
Well, here I am.
Hey.
There he is.
There he is.
Look at this guy. How are you, buddy?
Going on? How you been, pal?
Good, man. It's been a long time since we've seen each other.
Yeah. What was the last time we worked together? Hartford, maybe?
I think so. Hartford Funny Bone.
Have you been there since? I haven't been there since. I never really...
No, and I blame you, actually.
Sorry. It is my fault.
Dude, you lost some pounds, man. You look good.
Yeah, I lost 60. Now you got to do something about this.
Just extend the neckline of the beard. That's why I just let it all grow because I look stupid no matter what.
Oh, you want to hook up to my microphone? Will it sound better?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
If you got it handy, yeah.
I'm going to get someone professional here. Hold on. Take 1 second. My dog gets off my cord. Get off that cord. Now I think this.
Adam, leave all of this.
This is good. This is like it's a real kind of Mr. Magoo type of shit.
I like
this.
This.
Is great. That dog's at my cord.
Do you guys know each other?
Yeah. With Chris, I haven't seen Chris in a while, but yeah.
Since when?
Man,
Hartford Funny Bone.
I wonder. Yo, it's probably when we played Magoobies. Man, I wonder who's seen Chris more recent, Kevin, you or I.
Last thing I heard was Magoobies.
Right.
Oh, there he is. He is. Listen to the sound now. I like this. Well, this is a very Bill O'Reilly will do it live feel.
Yeah. Hey, now there was a club near Magoobies that I performed at that's not there anymore. What is that club?
Over in that would be near Baltimore. God, I don't know.
I thought it was in
I
Maryland.
want to say something like Larry's Clam Shack or something.
Something like that. I remember having I do remember having an excellent crab cake there.
The Clam Shucker, Thursday through Friday.
Yeah. I never ate soft shell crabs before. I see people go to these restaurants where they just drop them on the table. That looks interesting.
Yeah, I'm not big into raw bars. I don't like seafood that I can taste the actual origin of the sea. It really grosses me out. But look at us hanging again, all three of us back on the same page. I dig this. I like this. This is fun having you on because so it's funny because we don't know each other extremely well, but I feel like we hit it off right away on that weekend together.
Yeah. That was I remember I was doing all the funny bones when I was on TV, and then all of a sudden the show stopped and they're like, who are you? I'm like, I performed at like 80 of your funny bones. I have a funny bone myself.
This business, I tell you. You
It's
know what
brutal.
though? Here's what I love about you, honestly, is that you did it like such an old school way.
Yeah.
Of launching a career for yourself. Adam, I don't know if you know this. So Chris is a
should
Long
know
Island
this.
comic. Adam,
I know
Wikipedia.
I know all about Chris, but mostly from making funny faces at me through the window at the comic strip when I'm in the studio. That's mostly what I know of Chris.
Now I know who the hell you are.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
Oh, dude, now I know who you are.
I'm like,
I love
I know
before
who he
this,
is.
you didn't even know who he was.
I had to let him in on that because I knew he was going, where do I know this fucking guy from?
Right.
So
You said
great.
Magoobies, and I was like, Magoobies?
Yeah, right. You thought I was just like a middle or something.
Well, you're the one
Some
always
middle
in
act.
that studio.
Yeah, I'm always in the studio.
Always in and now he's out. He's in Queens. He was in Ground Zero for a little bit of COVID territory, and now
Wow.
safely in a new apartment.
Yeah.
Good
So
for you, brother.
Chris, Adam, for your reference, is a Long Island comic, hilarious comic, all around really good guy, good hang. And he was performing at Governor's one night, and Kevin James walked in and saw him perform. And then the next day, Chris gets a call from his agent saying Kevin James wants him to audition for the role of Mutt, I believe, right? One of his best friends on his new sitcom.
Mutt. It's an abbreviated version of the story, but I'll take it.
McGuire's,
Oh my God.
right? Weren't you at McGuire's?
Very good.
Yeah.
He knows the story better than you.
I've
Kevin.
heard this.
Oh,
I've
definitely.
pointed a mic at your face, and you've told the
You
story
have.
100 times. So yeah,
I know.
I probably
Now people-
know you better than. I'm like a Chris Roach historian at this point.
You are. I was doing this one. No, I was on the local radio station here, and the guy goes, "So tell us about your big break." I'm like, "My big break? I'm still living at my father's house." You mean when I got on that show? Yeah, okay. I'll tell you that story.
This is the Chris that I'm in for. This is why I stayed in touch all these years. It's for the grizzled, lost 60 pounds in his father's house. Now we can get to some real shit, Chris.
Yes. Lost 60 pounds. Lost a lot of my self-esteem and my, my
He
self-worth.
lost 60 pounds. It was all self-esteem.
All self-esteem, all 60 pounds of his confidence.
Self-respect. All that kind of stuff.
Confidence.
Anything starting with self, I lost a lot of it.
Well, look, dude, hang your hat on the fact that you did what a lot of comics set out to do when they started in this business. You're way better than one of my older comic buddies, Gino Bisconti, who his idea of doing it old school is his father drinking so much that his mom would fall down the stairs. That's Gino's that's Gino's old school comedy take.
It's so funny. I remember reaching out to Gino like a few months ago. I said, "You are the only comedian that in the New York State area that I've never worked with in the tri-state area." And he was laughing. And then we just saw each other in the flesh for the first time at Joe DeRosa's birthday party at the Stand. And it was like, holy shit, finally.
Yeah. And
Really good dude.
he is a really this is totally backfired in my face, Adam. He's a really good dude. Here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say, Chris. Hang out with him one more time, and I guarantee you, and we'll have you back at the show. I guarantee you there's a Gino insult in there somewhere.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You win this round, Bisconti. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Just Joking. I believe we're at episode 80 here. I am your host, Kevin Dombrowski, joined as always by my lovely t-shirt wearing producer, Adam Hineker, who stares and actually our Chris Roach historian, on-staff historian.
I didn't see Chris at Joe's birthday party, but I did see Gino, and we literally talked about this very thing that we're talking about, how the people don't know that you're supposed to say something hurtful about Gino at the opening.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing,
Is that
Chris.
what this is about?
Chris, here's the thing, though. I like to go fishing. Here's you and Adrian Appalucci, and of course Gino, are the only three in the history of the show to never have a bad thing to say about Gino at the beginning of the show.
Oh, I love Adrian.
Yeah.
And Gino, you know what? I don't know. I've never worked with him before, and I've never hung out with him. So yeah, give me time.
Adam, do me a favor. Edit that just to the beginning of the episode, right
Give me
before
time.
the music.
I want to work with him. I heard some stories about him on stage that are very funny.
Oh my God, dude, you will never be bored a day in your. The last gig I did with him was in Dewey Beach, Delaware, and it caused quite a ruckus because some people misunderstood his act to the point where they walked out and then complained to the booker. He got banned from a club he's been doing for 20 years. The booker called and yelled at him. I got calls about what was wrong with him that night, and I was like, nothing. He was doing his act.
That is great.
I can tell you that someone I featured that night, and he was closing, and someone came up to me, Adam, I don't know if I told you this, and handed me $20 and said, here's 20. Don't ever end up like that racist piece of shit. And he walked away.
That is great. Well, is he more of a crowd work guy?
Not really. He's very good at interacting with the audience.
Right.
But his material, believe it or not, for as bad as it is deliberate and premeditated.
I saw maybe this is some kind of testament to any one of his friends, but I was talking to Anthony Cumia, and he came up to me and goes, you know somebody's your friend when they say the most hurtful thing they can about you to your face.
100%. I mean, Gino was in my wedding. Every episode of this show starts with insulting him. And honestly, like every 2 days, I tweet a video of some natural disaster and I find a way to tie it into his stand-up routine. So that's the only way I'll ever admit that I am as close as I am to it.
That is fucking great.
Sorry. Our guest.
Sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
Please.
No.
Actually, we prefer if you do a little bit more. We've got minimums to hit here.
Oh, you never know. Shit. You never know. You never know with some people.
Our guest this week, what I think, honestly, he's just one of my favorite guys all around. Tours all over the country, especially the Funny Bones. 8 Funny Bones he tours at.
8 Funny Bones. Until the show ended. Then I got a call from Gersh. They're like, we don't know how to market you anymore. I'm like, how about market me as the guy that was just on a TV show? Maybe they don't know how to market me.
Had a stint opening with Kevin James. That's something right there that you got going on. A debut album, Roach Motel. And you might know him from CBS's Kevin Can Wait. Chris Roach is on the show. The hilarious Chris Roach.
Hey. What's up, guys? I'm acting like I just got on again. Hey, what's up? Adam, do you work at the Comedy Strip?
I work at the Comedy Strip.
You could be a young John Travolta.
Only sexuality.
Oh, Yeah, exactly. By that you mean I forced myself on male masseur.
That's exactly what I mean.
Masseuse is?
Masseurs.
I don't know. Masseurs?
Here's what we do on the show, Chris. I got a couple headlines. I'm going to read them out to you. Just to get your take. No interviews, no arguments. Just fun here. Just joking. I have. This is a great week for you to be on because you've got a silly demeanor, and I enjoy picking that apart. And these headlines are going to be. It's like, dude, it was just one shocking story after the next, and nothing like, nothing too salacious to worry about, but just like unbelievable shit. We'll get out of the way. Cuomo has resigned officially as governor. And look, it doesn't matter what side you lean on. The state attorney general's office came back and said that all 11 accusations of sexual misconduct and harassment were correct. They were well-founded. And he was forced to resign because he broke sexual harassment laws. Even though he did put up a valiant effort and defense of saying that it's been going around all the time, that he's not perverted, he's just Italian.
Right. Every Italian was like, all at once went, oh!
Yeah.
Oh!
Every pork store just went out of business. They've all turned into strip clubs.
That's where they say hello where he comes from. Where was that movie from? I was from Movie Land. That's where they say hello where he comes from.
He just shakes an AIDS tits. This is how we say hello in my country.
So that's how it is in their family.
So he gave himself 14 days, which the irony has been picked up by Twitter. 14 days to slow the spread. Cuomo is now giving himself 14 days for his resignation to kick in. And you know what? It just hit me. How fucking crazy would it be if just like 14 days, the lockdown continued for a year and a half? He just never left.
Right.
But if after 14 days, he was like, I'm going to need another month till I wrap things. And it's just a year and a half later, he's just still in office.
Or if he spent the last 14 days grabbing all the ass he could.
Right, exactly.
I'm going down in flames.
Yeah, he goes, I'm just going to pack up my desk here. And he's just stacking women on his desk.
How you doing? I'm Italian. That's what we do. This is what we do in the lower part of the boot. This is it's not Sicilian. It's more of a Napolitan, whatever you call it.
Right.
Lower.
His way of talking. See, I think how he talks is more offensive than anything he's ever done. I can't listen to it anymore. I listened to him say something in a joint press conference with the would-be new mayor of New York next year. And he was in Brooklyn. And he was talking about their plan to combat gun violence. And this is how he talks, Chris. This is if I were governor, I would do the same thing. He goes, look, it's an initiative. It's a difficult initiative. It won't be easy. It will be hard. And he just finds 3 different ways of saying the same sentence. Right. This is actually how I do a 30-minute set. It's the same joke in 30 different ways.
Right. It's really genius when you think about it, because the audience is none the wiser.
Right.
If you could do a joke in 3 different ways and they laugh all 3 times, you're like, damn, these people are stupid. Either that, I'm really smart.
Yeah. It won't be, you're not smart, you're just not dumb. And that's how we do it in New York.
My wife always had the, in the early days of
Andrew Cuomo.
That's going to be on a T-shirt. I'm Italian and it's New York. That's what we do.
I don't remember his voice being that high or breathy, but it just
that's all I hear.
It's masterful.
It's all I hear, dude. It's
really?
it's not breathy. I don't speak with volume.
You sound like trans Kevin Dabrowski.
He didn't fondle her buttocks. It was an attaboy. That's what I would say. What are you talking about? They were attaboys. Hey, attaboy.
That's fucking great. Adam, are you sure? Because when I say it, I'm nailing it.
You're nailing it. No,
head.
Here's the thing. If it depends on what metric, it's very entertaining. And it kind of, your face kind of looks like you're in pain too. So it's just like, I don't know what he's doing. It's great.
Well, here's
but
what I do is I stick a finger unexpectedly up my asshole like he does, and and then the whole face and voice comes out.
Oh man, I'm looking at pictures of all of his accusers, and it's always kind of funny to look at pictures of accusers when these things happen out, because you can always tell they're all kind of, it's like, well, he clearly has a type. Like,
yes,
it's like
Cosby, maybe
27,
right,
white chick, like auburn hair, and it's like, how can you even argue with that? You're like, no, I have no validity to any of these.
I don't even like her or her or her.
Right. Like they're all. It honestly looks like the same lady. They all look like the same lady.
I saw some law firm put out a commercial. This law firm, and they were like, if you've been assaulted by Cuomo, they were trying to like basically saying, it was almost like they were saying, "Are you sure you weren't assaulted? You worked for him? Are you sure you weren't assaulted?"
Yeah.
Really?
Think about it and get back to us. Yeah, it's like they were like trying to like fish for more people.
And they pointed at the camera. We're here for you.
Right. One time I thought he was looking at me in a weird way, but I thought he had a cold that day. But no.
It wasn't a cold. It's not COVID. I just don't breathe well.
He must be thinking like, man, the mayors before me, this is probably nothing.
Oh, totally. For sure. He's like, he's at least I'm not Elliot Spitzer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
At least I didn't get caught paying for it.
I just love the balls that he has. I think he's a total scumbag. And I think he's a shit governor, too. I just love the balls that he has to be flat out like, no, I didn't do it. I'm just Italian. Here's a picture of me kissing Robert De Niro. And you're like, that's not a defense at all.
Right. But your hand isn't on his ass when you're doing it.
But if it was.
Attaboy, Robert. Attaboy. You keep making those films, attaboy.
It's nice to meet you, Bobby.
You know, I have a few Italian friends that used to do that, give me that kiss, but I felt like I always went for the wrong cheek. Like they were always doing this thing with me, like,
right. What did you go to the ass cheek?
Like, which side am I supposed to be kissing?
Right. It is an awkward exchange. Maybe he is just Italian. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe he's got a point.
Well, they're saying I didn't really read too much into it, but is there like a lot of accusations of groping and stuff? I guess.
Yeah. So there's a couple that have said that he's groped them and like unwanted, like inappropriate touching for the workplace. One flat out said that he just groped her breasts as he walked by. He asked one of his aides to play strip poker on a government jet, which is my favorite one because it's like, what were you filming, a Cinemax After Dark movie? Who plays strip poker?
Poker on a man. What is that? It was probably something on his bucket list.
Right. Yeah. It's called One Night in Albany. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then there was another one that this is just kind of fucked up for the workplace. He told someone he wouldn't hire an intern because she was too ugly.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God! Meanwhile, she's probably a blonde bombshell, and she just didn't fit the type of.
Yeah, she's not a mousy brunette.
You know, right? You know, just popped into my head the movie Horrible Bosses.
Yeah.
When the guy, his boss goes, "I want you to fire other fat people." First he goes. I'm thinking about cutting the fat around here. And Jason Sudeikis is like, yeah, okay. Yeah. You start with firing all the fat people.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. My idea of a pork store is sitting in front of the unemployment line after I fire everybody.
I just remember waking up every day and my wife was watching his press conferences during the early days of COVID. Right. It was spreading like rampant. And I'm like, there should be a drinking game every time he says the word ventilators. He goes, we got 500 ventilators. He wouldn't say ventilator. It was ventilators.
Yeah, there were like 3 separate words.
Yeah. Ventilators news. What's 4 the ventilators?
We're shipping ventilators.
The latest on ventilators.
And did a shot of Robitussin every time he said that.
Do a shot of zinc every time he calls it a ventilator.
Ventilators.
It's fucking. I love that. Yeah, I was saying the joke for a while that when he talks about transmissions, you don't think of COVID. You think of like your mechanic. When he's like the transmission rate, I'm like, oh fuck, my transmission's gone. I got to replace the whole thing now.
Yeah, the transmission rate is my differential is all infected. My CBC differential.
Well, the other guy in New York is not having quite as bad a week, but also not having a great week. De Blasio was caught on film walking by. That's fucking great. Just walking by a random person with his cell phone in his face, and he goes, "How are you?" And the guy goes, "Not fucking good, you fucking rat scumbag." And then he goes off. He goes off
really
on a 3-minute tirade laced with like homophobic slurs and like all this like crazy shit. But it's like, you know that, fuck, I don't know what movie it is, but it's Sarah Silverman, and she's insulting Ryan Phillippe, and it's the beginning scene of a movie. And if you look up, it's like the 100 greatest movie threats on YouTube or something like that. She's in it, and every single insult she says is so in rhythm. You're like, this sounds. It's the most horrific shit, but it's the most pleasant sounding insult to your head because it's so well written. This guy doesn't miss a fucking beat, and De Blasio just keeps walking away.
When you're in politics, you cannot ask people open-ended questions. You cannot, not even as just being polite, like, "How are you?" No.
Right. He goes,
No.
"Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "Not fucking good, you rat fucking scumbag, you cunt, you twat. My mom just died, you fucking prick." And he just keeps going at him.
Even when I was in retail, I would never ask them, "Hey, how you doing?" They would go, "Oh." There's always that one guy, "Well, I complain, but who would listen?"
Right. How would you like to work at like The Gap and say, "How you doing?" And someone goes, "Not fucking good, you rat fucking scumbag."
Fuck. I mean, look at the price on these jeans, you scumbag. Your shirts shrink. All your sizes stop at XL, you fat shaming bastards.
I like look at the size of these jeans, you scumbag. Poor kid just got acne trying to pay his cell phone bill.
Right.
I could listen to De Blasio get insulted all fucking day. It's probably my favorite thing. The next crazy thing. So this is where it starts to get into some weird, shocking stuff. So Kanye West is live streaming his upcoming album called Donda, and he keeps selling out arenas.
What is Donda? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I have no idea what it means, to be honest.
Donda está.
Donda está the album. It's so he keeps live streaming it, and he doesn't release it afterwards because he's like some mad scientist. But the best part about all of it is he's not performing it. He sells out the mezzanine and upper levels of an arena and the entire floor like a hockey or basketball court. It's just him in like different like scenarios in like a black shirt, a mask, and boots and jeans or whatever. And so this one, he sets up basically like a studio apartment, and he's just doing push-ups on just on the arena floor while an entire arena is just listening to his album.
That is hysterical.
Wait, but he's just playing a recording of the album?
Uh-huh.
And he does push-ups?
So he's doing...
takes a shit in the corner.
right. It's like performance art. So he's like doing push-ups into that. Do you ever see the infomercial for the perfect push-up
where it's like it like distributes different weights.
Yeah.
So he's at like the Wells Fargo arena, just like doing push-ups while while his album's playing in the background. He's got a mattress on the floor. There's one where cables just lift him up in the air, and he's just in the air while people are listening to his music.
I thought I seen that. Yeah. That is just odd.
It's fucking. Oh, this one's great. On track 15, Kanye lays down and he takes a nap, and he literally he lays in the bed, puts the covers over, and he just sits. He just sleeps until the album's over.
That is just crazy.
I love
It'd
how
be great
crazy
if
he is.
It would be fun if when they pulled him, threw him up in the air, they could throw shit at him.
Right.
You know? That would be worth the ticket price.
Yeah, track 7 is one of those old things where you throw a baseball at a target and then it's a dunk tank, and then he gets dunked into the water.
Make it fun. Or if the crowd gets a decibel up to a certain point, he falls into the dunk tank. Make it, fun.
The more the crowd cheers, the more the treadmill he's on just keeps going faster and faster.
Yes, it should be some kind of torture.
Right. Dude, he's fucking out of his mind. He really is.
Looks like he's got a ski mask on.
Yeah, he's got a ski mask on.
Oh my God.
He has a studio apartment set up. He's lifting weights. He's sleeping. He's got like a whole setup. It just looks like he just got divorced, like he did.
Yeah, he did.
And he's renting out arenas just to like listen to music, and people could pay to watch him live.
I know. What's it supposed to be, like a live reality show or something?
It looks like it, honestly.
Jesus.
I can't get over at track 15. Kanye takes a nap.
Oh,
we should do this, Chris. Let's do this with your album. Let's do this with our albums. Let's go on the road, and then we'll play our albums back to back. But we'll just like have cigars on stage and just quietly talk while everyone listens.
I'll cut my toenails. You know?
On track 17, Chris picks at his hangnail.
Yeah. You see me cut my toenails, I get out of breath and bend it over. Because I'm not flexible at all. I'm like,
track 18, Kevin throws a sweat rag so that he can moisten his brow, and we can continue the albums.
It's art.
I love it. Musicians are, I mean, it's so funny because, like, I think comics are the most fucked up people, but I think musicians are just out of their mind, self-absorbed.
Right. You shouldn't always do the first thing that comes to your mind. You should probably kick it around a little while.
Right.
Wouldn't it be funny if I fell asleep on stage? Yeah, it's funny in a conversation, but after a while, you're like, nah, maybe I shouldn't do that.
See, meanwhile, the coolest concert I've ever been to, well, I saw Paul McCartney and I fucking cried for like 3 songs uncontrollably.
Wow.
It was incredible. He sang a song that he wrote in a conversation style that he never got to have with John Lennon. And I burst into tears.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I couldn't get my shit together to the point where my wife was like, is it reminding you of someone? I was like, no, this is just, I'm just out of control. And then I saw
my first love.
My ex-girlfriend. It's a conversation I never get to have with her. And then I watched Jay-Z do a song at Paris, and he stopped performing, and he said that like he halfway through the tour he started getting fined by the fire marshal because people were kind of like breaking fire codes during the song. And he goes, I don't know if you remember the lyrics, but in the middle of the song I say, what's 50 grand to a motherfucker like me, can you please remind me? And he goes, so that being said, when I put this song on, if you want to dance in your seat, if you want to dance in the aisle, you want to jump on your chairs, you bought your goddamn tickets. I don't give a shit what you do. I'll pay the fine. And it was at the Barclays, and he goes, oh, not to mention, I own this fucking building. And he goes, let's go. And the beat came on, and I have never seen an audience lose their fucking mind more. And he literally yelled, security, stand down. That's a direct order. And security just backed up into the tunnels. And the audience, everyone was just everywhere. It was fucking nuts.
Wow.
What song was it?
Paris.
Paris was the song?
Yeah. Fucking crazy. Shut up, Adam.
Did you see the video of the dude trying to get a white chick to say the lyrics?
No.
It was hilarious. He's like,
is it?
Wait, who's in Paris? No, but who's in Paris? She's like,
good. Chris trying to get me canceled over here.
It's a thing we're not allowed to say, Chris.
Yes.
Oh, I'm looking it up. I don't know if I know the song. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. What if you just blurted it out right after that?
It pause. We'll be right back.
Dude, musicians are just out of their fucking mind. Look, here's
I'm not a huge fan of this band. I'm a huge fan of the first band that he was in. Nirvana is my favorite band, I would have to say.
That was great.
And Dave Grohl, I like Dave Grohl. I like everything he stands for. My wife is like, that's her number one. I like the Foo Fighters, and I've seen them live. They're so good. I saw them at Citi Field, and it was amazing.
I've never seen them before. I've never seen them. Love to.
Oh, dude, you got to see them. They're totally fucking worth it. This is great though. So they have an ongoing feud with the Westboro Baptist Church, and
are those the people that protest a lot?
Yes,
they hate Paris.
Yes, they hate
God hates Paris. Right?
Correct. They hate
Let's just replace Paris with all the words we can't say.
I like that. I'm super into that. That's good. Yeah. They hate Paris. They hate the military for some reason. Right. So the Foo Fighters just put out a Bee Gees tribute album, and they call themselves the DGs. And
really,
yes, it's good if you're into that. I listened to the album, and I'm not. I don't know. It's okay. I mean, it's technically good, but the music is not my favorite type of music.
You're not a Bee Gees guy.
I'm not a Bee Gees guy.
I like the Bee Gees.
Yeah. But do you like to? I feel like Chris is just downloading everything that we're talking about now.
How deep is your love?
Where is this Donda album that you guys keep referring to? So Westboro Baptist Church was they were protesting the Foo Fighters' latest concert in Kansas City, and to get back at them, Foo Fighters dressed up as the Bee Gees, playing "You Should Be Dancing" on a flatbed truck as they rolled around the Westboro Baptist Church members that were protesting. So instead of protesting, "You should be dancing" is what they were doing.
Wow, they kind of counter-protested almost.
Counter-protest.
I like that. It's good times.
I'm trying to think, did they play it like rock and roll?
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly, it's just like a rock cover of it.
Sure.
I'm going to play it later. What you doing? Yeah. I always wanted to do that. I think I have a little BG in me.
I think you have more than a little bit.
Should be dancing. Yeah. See? I got it.
I like that.
That was in there the whole time.
Yeah. All you had to do was just lose 60 pounds of confidence and it came out.
That's all.
He lost a gib.
There was a joke. I think it was who was going around when John Panette lost a lot of weight back in the day. I heard a story that in Montreal, the comic was going around and saying to people, "Hey, have you seen John Panette? Wait, who is it? From Philly, veteran." Don Marrera.
Jimmy Graham? Oh, Don Marrera.
Don Marrera was going around saying, "Hey, have you seen John Panette? Man, he must have lost 40, 50 minutes."
That's funny.
How funny is that?
I love Dom. I opened for him at Bananas one time.
He's great.
And he's just got the simplest approach to comedy. It's so old school and simple, and I love it. My favorite joke is he's like, I've stopped drinking because I got a DUI a few months ago. And this is real. He's like on like medication and all this stuff. And he was like, or he was back then. And he said he got pulled over for a DUI. And he goes, I got to tell you, first time I was in handcuffs without an erection. That was weird.
Yeah.
That's great.
And he goes, I always thought I was a man until they put me 15 minutes. They put me in a drunk tank. And 15 minutes later, I was ratting out all my childhood friends. And then he goes, the cop that arrested me was, he was going, watch your head. He goes, I got to tell you, I'm a really big fan. And Dom goes, apparently not big enough. Let me tell you what a really big fan might do in this situation.
Brilliant.
He's so simple and so fucking just nonstop with it. I love it.
I opened for him one time and I was hosting the show and I'm like, Dom, what are you, anything new? Any credits you want me to say? He goes, no. People know they came here to see me. Just say, ladies and gentlemen, Don Marrera. And I'm thinking to myself, no, the club's going to get mad at me. It's my job. This is years ago. The club's it's my job. I got to say credits. I got to, So I'm like, you may have seen him on this and that and that. And ladies and gentlemen, Dom Irera. So in between shows, he goes, I made it as simple as I could. Just say, ladies and gentlemen, Dom Irera. So second show, I got to go out there. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, Dom Irera. Crowd starts clapping. You know when you go to shake hands as you're passing each other?
Yeah.
He squeezes my hand. He goes, those aren't my fucking credits.
Oh, I love that. Oh.
I was like, I'm still kind of new, so I was like mortified. Oh God.
I love when headliners fuck with openers like that. Oh my! The other day, it's not the same situation, but I was hosting at New York Comedy Club, and I brought Greg Stone up, and when he shook my hand, he snuck a $1 bill to me, and he was the first comic up, and I thought it was like a note or something, and then I looked down and I saw that he tipped me $1.
That's
and
great.
It was so fucking funny that when and I knew that like he would totally just start laughing if I brought it up or whatever. So when he was done after we got off stage, as I passed him, I slipped it back to him, and he fucking like almost folded over because he was like, oh, I'm so like he was so happy that I did the joke back to him. We just kept laughing and no one acknowledged it. I didn't see him after his set. We just passed each other $1 and walked away.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. Like I remember me and like Chris Monty.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Monty's the best.
We would always say to each other, comics say to each other after you get off stage, especially if maybe the crowd's a little tight, and you go up to the comedian, you go, "Hey man, when you going up?" One time I got him really good. I was hosting a show and he said, good night. And he finished his set. And I walk up to him as he's still on stage. And I go, what do you want me to say about you? He lost it.
I love that. That. Or when you, like, if you kill and then you come off stage and the comic goes, you'll get him next time.
You'll get him next time.
You're like, what the fuck?
You'll get him next time.
I just gotten off stage, this is years ago. Gino and I say this to each other probably once every 2 weeks. But I just gotten off stage at LOL, and I just had this fucking like traffic light of a set, just stop, go, stop. And it was like, it was right before my album. I was like really working on shit. And I was just like, I'm so done with this night. It was my last show, and I got off stage, and Gino walked in, and he went, how are they? And I went, do you like Momentum? And I just kept walking. That's true. We didn't talk about anything, but every now and then, if it's a really bad show, and one of us will be like, "Oh, how was that show?" I'll be like, "Do you like Momentum?"
Like Momentum? Because this isn't the show,
right? Dom's one of those guys. Man, I'm trying to think. Florentine's one of those guys that'll fuck with you.
Yeah.
Levy off stage will fuck with you hard.
You know who got me good? You may not even know the guy, or at least maybe Adam may not know him. You know a guy named Gemini?
Yes.
He's a magician.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, he probably got me the best. He was one of the first guys when I first started emceeing over at McGuire's, my first like 2 years in. And he comes up to me before the show. He's very serious. He goes, all right, I'm going to have animals up my sleeves. Well, what you're going to do is you go on stage. There's a candle there. You light the candle. You say, ladies and gentlemen, the comedy and magic of Gemini. He goes, and then you walk off, and a minute later I come walking on, but you have to let me know right after you do it, because I have animals up my sleeves, right? So I I don't think he didn't tell me about the music part. So I light the candle, right? And I go, ladies and gentlemen, the magic and comedy of Gemini. And I walk down, and like 4 or 5 minutes later, I'm sitting there. I was probably drinking my beer, watching the Ranger game on TV. And he walks over to me, he goes, again, really important. I need you to let me know when you're going to bring me on stage, because I have animals. I'm like, dude, I brought you up 5 minutes ago. He goes, I'm just fucking with you.
Oh, it's so good.
I was like, I almost shit my pants, because here I am new. He tells me, let me know when you're going to bring me up on stage. Oh my God.
I did a gig with Kevin Farley in PA. It was the first time I had met him. Adam, you might have heard this, where there was like this old black dude that lived by the theater,
and they were doing these comedy shows. And the guy was like, look, if you want these shows to start off right, you got to have me MC. And he's like telling me this is how I started MCing the shows. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So, you know, he like comes out, he's in like a full like zoot suit, like pinstripe thing. And I'm backstage and I hear Bruno Mars start playing, right? And he goes on stage and it doesn't stop. It just keeps going for like 3 minutes. And I'm like, oh, he's dancing on stage to Bruno Mars because I hear the crowd going fucking nuts.
Right.
So then the music stops and he goes, he was like, are you guys ready for a good show? And the crowd goes nuts. It's like 250 people in this theater. And then he goes, we got Kevin Farley in the building. And everyone claps. And he goes, we got Kevin Dombrowski in the building. And everyone claps. And then he goes, give it up for Kevin Dombrowski. And that was his full open. So I come out to a cold audience that I now have to warm up for Farley. And the guy walks past me and he whispered table set in my ear. Oh table set. And then I had to do 30 to like 45 because Farley was actually running late. And so I get him to this point where you know, like by the end, it's a fucking killer crowd. I'm like, man, I wish I like recorded this. And then I get off stage and I see Farley in the back and we're like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, they sound good. I'm like, yeah, they're great. And then I'm like, oh, he should be calling you up any second now. I don't know if he's going to do any time. He didn't before me. And the guy comes walking backstage. And Farley was like, oh, did you call me up? And he was like, no. I told them to go get snacks. We're going to do an intermission before.
Oh, my God.
And Farley was like, what are you doing? He was like, Dombrowski just fucking killed. And he was like, no. He was like, bring me up. And the guy goes, no, don't worry about it. He goes, this is what we do every time. And Kev's like, all right, I guess. And the guy goes like this. I swear to God, I'll never fucking forget this. He goes, yeah. He goes, you relax. I tell you what, you tell me when you're ready. You ready? And that was literally how it happened. You tell me when you want to go up. You want to go up? And he just cleared his throat. And I watched Kev just like back up and forward and back up. And then he just brought him back on. And Farley had to do like another 45 to the same cold audience.
Oh, yeah. That's like the worst thing. That's the worst thing you want to hear. One of the worst things when you arrive to a comedy show. They go, there's going to be an intermission. You're like, what?
I know.
Well, I understand from a venue standpoint, they got to sell stuff.
Sell snacks.
Sure.
Snacks and merch, whatever. But, you know, you never want to break the rhythm of a comedy show.
No. Especially if it's like, I've done private gigs where it's like, they're like, all right, you're going to go up top. You're going to bring up another comic. And then the band's going to play for half an hour. And then you're going to bring up the headlining comic. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right. A lot of people don't understand how a comedy show functions.
I know.
It's not like a concert where the band, you can take a break between, put another band on.
Right. Yeah. You could, I mean, look, the whole music thing has its, Kanye West is selling out albums, selling out arenas so people can watch him do push-ups in his studio apartment on the fucking hockey floor.
Right.
It's amazing. Did you hear that, the fucking, I don't know why you would have, but I obviously heard this, Offspring have kicked their drummer out of the band because he won't get vaccinated?
I heard that, yeah.
That's crazy.
Did they kick him out or did he quit? Did they kick him out?
They kicked him out, and when I looked into it, it's because the lead singer of the Offspring is a biochemical professor. Yeah. He's got a master's in biochemistry.
He might know something we don't.
Right.
Might.
I can't even imagine. Like, it's like 30 years you're all together. You got to be eligible for the Hall of Fame at some point. You guys were a huge band.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And then he won't get the vaccine, and he gets fucking booted. And you can't even argue.
No.
That's what everyone, especially on Twitter, everyone's like, the guy's a biochemical engineer. You can't argue with him.
Is that like, can he sue them? I don't believe if he can, but.
I don't think there, unless there's a pandemic clause in his contract.
Spring contract.
Well, they've been around since the Spanish flu, so there might be. I have no idea.
Right.
Oh my God, this one also made me laugh. Is that Liam Gallagher thought he had coronavirus? But you ready for this? Watch Adam start to laugh now. His house was just hot.
Oh. Oh my God.
What does that even mean?
His house, his thermostat was just too high, and so he was sweating, and he thought he had coronavirus, and he said it was really scary.
See,
okay,
I can't wait till I'm super famous and rich so I could do stupid things like that. You know, press play at a comedy show and go to sleep, and you know.
I thought I died for a second, but I just turned my thermostat down really low during the winter.
False alarm. First, what happened was my butler, he was fucking with the thermostat. And
so he must have announced, like, it must have been known that he had it before he realized it was just his thermostat.
And the thread count on my beds, he changed the thread count without telling me, and it was absorbing my body heat.
I thought I had measles, but it turns out I just haven't washed my sheets in a while.
I haven't washed my sheets in a while, and life is so hard.
I thought I had pneumonia, but I had just eaten some really spicy hummus, and my nose was running.
Right. I thought I had pneumonia, but it turns out it was the one without the P. Ammonia.
It was ammonia.
I had ammonia, and I didn't know I had it. So it was
I love that. I read that, Adam. I read that, and I thought of you laughing at that.
Yeah,
and that's
I mean that is kind of what happens after I got my second dose. But first, it was very cold. You get very cold. Mm-hmm. And then usually you wake up hot. So maybe, I don't know, maybe his thermostat was toggling.
Were you Moderna?
Yeah.
I think it's Pfizer.
But I know my sister got Pfizer, and she also had so I think it just depends on the individual.
Yeah.
Because it was...
Are you sure both of your apartments weren't just hot?
They might have been. The HVAC guy had just come, so...
Right.
Right.
Could have been just
I thought I had the Delta, but it turns out I was just on an airplane.
Right, you got Delta Plus. You got upgraded.
I thought I had Delta, but it turned out it was just the blues. Delta blues, baby.
I thought I had coronavirus, but I was just in the Delta Force department of the military.
Yes. Delta. One of my friends is a tracer. They get paid by the state to trace, and she's like freaking out. She's like, "There's supposed to be like a super Delta coming." I'm like, "Oh God, come on!"
There's something called a Lambda now.
Lambda, and after that, it's going to be the Omega Moose.
Right. Which strain are you pledging?
There's a Lambda virus that's now more deadly than the Delta virus. This is the one time I regret not joining a frat, because if I knew the Roman alphabet, I would know what to expect in this pandemic.
Jesus Christ! What is now? Is this like a scam to get us all to take the booster shot? I don't know.
I think, dude, you know what, man? I'm not a conspiracy guy, and I'm not a COVID denier. I got the vaccine. I've said this before because I wanted to work. My wife was pregnant. I have a 10-month-old. There's all sorts of shit that I wanted to, you tell me it's going to be safe. You tell me that I can go out and do shows. If I get this, great. I don't care. I'll probably pay for it at some point in my life.
Right.
But right now, I can fucking leave my house, and that's good enough for me.
It's nice. I'm getting used to this, like this no mask thing. I'm getting used to it now.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing now is I think I'm an anti-masker. I think because I'm pro-vax, I'm anti-mask. And
go ahead.
No. What were you going to say? Gotham what?
When I went to Gotham the other day, they had a sign on the door that read that you had to have a mask on inside. So I guess they're prepping for it.
Oh. Yeah. They
just to the table. When I think it was the Stress Factory, New Brunswick.
Mm-hmm.
Their rule was you had to wear the mask to the stage.
Interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So Gotham's got to be rolling that back with state laws or city mandates now. Because I was at Gotham last week. I'm there tonight. And I was at Gotham last week, and it was still pretty business as usual.
You know, it's like vaccinated shit. Or now they're starting to be vaccinated shows. But, Lambda is supposed to be vaccine resistant, which is great for all of us. Did you hear about that nurse? She's an anti-vax nurse.
Really?
And yes, so this is fucking crazy, injected 8,600 people with saline instead of a COVID vaccine.
That's evilly brilliant. With saline instead of COVID, and what happened?
They arrested her.
Did they all get COVID?
I have no idea.
Well, obviously, she was trying to prove a point.
Yeah,
well, she was just trying to sort of not
spread the vaccine.
Do her job without doing her job, basically. Yeah, she was like a conscientious objector.
Yes.
Gotcha.
This is the vaccinated, you can't fire me, I quit.
Wow. And they arrested her for whatever the charge, public harm or something.
A German nurse is being investigated for allegedly injecting thousands of people with the placebo instead of the vaccine. Can you imagine being one of those people that got it and you were like, dude, my vaccine side effects were so fucking bad. You had fucking saline the entire time.
Oh, like, no, that was actually COVID, probably. Those were not side effects.
In Germany.
Yeah. The Germans never experiment well.
No.
Except for Volkswagen. I love my Tiguan. German engineering. That's so fucking crazy to me.
What?
The vaccine that she gave placebos instead of actual vaccines. That's maniacal shit.
We had a popular news story here many years ago on Long Island where they called him the Angel of Death. And it was a nurse that was making, that wasn't a fart, that was my dog snoring. There was a nurse that was causing people to go into cardiac arrest so he could save them and look like a hero. But a lot of people he was unable to save.
Jeez.
And I think he killed like 17 people or something like that. This is back in the 90s, in the 80s. And weird side note, when I was a kid, I used to play backgammon with him. Not backgammon, badminton. Oh my God.
I think either of them are bad.
He lived behind my aunt's house, and he used to come through the bushes, and we played badminton with him. And he used to come
what did he lure you in with candy? He came through the bushes?
He used to come over one of those play school doctor sets. So can I test you?
How would what would a person do to like induce that? I wonder.
I don't know
what he would do to.
Yeah, isn't there like some kind of potassium or whatever they put in? They can inject something into you to make you go into like cardiac arrest, potassium, whatever.
Oh, I'm sure there's some sort of cocktail that you can inject into yourself for that.
Scary. Then I just got done watching that Dr. Death, mini series about the guy. He was was he a surgeon, an orthopedic surgeon or whatever? But he was like really incompetent. He was like crippling and killing people.
Oh my God. That's even worse. I would rather, if I were crippled, I would rather it be a part of some sort of serial crippling thing. Not to have some incompetent doctor just fucking do it wrong and me wind up like that. I'd rather do it on purpose if it's going to happen to me.
Christian Slater and Alec Baldwin are in it. It's actually a good series, and it's based on a true story.
Interesting.
Yes.
Alec Baldwin kind of went off the rails with the whole Cuomo thing. He tweeted that it's a shame that Cuomo's actually resigning, and people are like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Dude, should give him a pass?
I have no idea. What kind of shit is, in Alec Baldwin's history that...
Well, there's a certain contingent of Democrat. I know a few people like this that they feel like they're very like... they feel like he's going to do more good than harm. You know what I mean? Like they feel like what he's doing is contributing enough that they don't. Yeah, they don't think he should get charged or whatever.
Grab a tit, solve the deficit. You got to weigh it.
They feel like it. They feel like the balance is out. Exactly.
Well, he does
because what he did only hurt one tit. But what he also policy wise could help.
I mean, look what he did for the
millions.
economy. I mean,
oh my God, what a fucking platform! Grab a tit, solve the deficit.
I know people that felt that way about Spitzer too. They were like, he's doing so many great things. He was this brilliant guy. Like, let him see a hooker and we'll pay for it.
Oh, I'm on the same page as that. I'm on the same page as that, especially because Manhattan's not like prosecuting prostitution anymore and like all this like shit. Like if a dude's paying for it in private, it's all consensual. Let him do what the fuck he's going to do to blow off steam from the job.
Well, I think that was more of an ethics thing because it was, I don't know if taxpayers were paying for it, but he was doing something where we were footing the bill and then covering it up, I think.
Adam, you think that's the first time I've paid for a hooker in some sense?
I mean, honestly, if they had asked me, I'd throw $5 on it. I mean, I had no problem with it.
It always goes to show you have to get permission first.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Always get permission.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I mean, look, with a hooker, I think the transition is the transaction is the permission. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I paid you $100. I can choke you.
Yeah, but what about the part where you're going to light me on fire? That's supposed to be extra.
Well, you'll see that in your tip.
It's itemized.
I'll Venmo you for that. I'll be Matt Gates, and I'll pay for a prostitute with Venmo.
If any major networks are listening to this, these are all jokes.
Of course. Well, that's the name of the podcast. Let's go back to crazy celebrities. There is an entire trend right now that's been uncovered of celebrities not bathing.
Really?
We covered Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis said they don't see it necessary to bathe often unless you can see the dirt. What Jake Gyllenhaal has now said, he finds bathing to be less necessary. Good manners and bad breath get you nowhere. So I do that. But I do think there's a whole world of not bathing that's really helpful for skin maintenance, and we naturally clean ourselves. And maybe that's because you're too ashamed to wash off whatever you did to get to that level, Jake Gyllenhaal. Maybe that's what's happening.
Well, during the pandemic, I got to admit, I was on like an everyday shower routine. Sometimes and there was sometimes when my wife's like, "Are you going to take a shower today?" I'm like, "Why? I don't got any comedy gigs. Nothing's going on." You know, it's like.
See, my shower routine went down drastically during the pandemic. My shaved head, my whole grooming was out the window.
Yes,
I looked very distraught. I wanted my physical. Yes, I was very unkempt. I wanted my physical appearance to match the pandemic that was happening around me.
Of course. I looked like Jerry Garcia. My beard was huge. That's why I put on a lot of weight.
Didn't we learn, Kevin, like a couple of weeks ago, you're almost like a compulsive showerer? Didn't you say you showered like up to 3 times a day sometimes?
Sometimes.
Is that OCD or is it just,
yes.
you know? It is.
Yeah. It's severe mental illness. Thanks for asking.
That's all right. We all got something.
No, totally. It's 100%. It's a shower a day minimum every other day. If the day gets away from me and I'm exhausted, look, I'm home with a 10-month-old literally all day. So if it gets away from me, I got nothing going on. I got no shows at night. Fine. I might go a day. But I think during the pandemic, it was like 3 or 4 days. I had a stretch where I just didn't shower. And I was like, I should probably do something just for my mental health sake, because I feel myself spiraling.
Yeah, it does do something to your mental health. You got to get in the shower and wash off the shame.
Well, this is very clearly they're not bathing. Otherwise, all the children blood that QAnon is drinking. I don't know if that's the correct way I'm saying this. All of the insides of the youth of America that they're harboring to look as good as they do will obviously secrete through their skin if they shower. This is very clear-cut case.
So many conspiracy theories during the pandemic. It was crazy.
It really was.
The children blood thing and Tom Hanks is the devil or whatever was happening.
Right. Yeah, he was the ringleader of some like child trafficking thing.
Makes for a good movie.
That's true. He should do that. He should troll everyone and write a movie about child trafficking and be the ringleader of it. It would be like OJ. If I did it, here's how I would have done it.
Right.
Did you hear? This is so crazy. So OJ is actually in the news. My wife sent me this article. Did you hear that OJ just went on record saying he does not go back to LA because he's afraid he might run into the actual killer?
I read that somewhere.
He said he's afraid to go to LA because he might wind up sitting next to who actually killed Nicole.
It's called a mirror. Too many mirrors in LA.
That was great. That was fucking great. Yeah. Every building, every store he goes into, this guy just keeps following me. There's a white Bronco behind me that just keeps following me everywhere.
He's all over the Gap.
Oh, he's on this golf course on the other side of my cell phone. I fucking love shit like that. I love it. It's so insane.
Well, his whole thing at first was he was looking for the killer, so that would be contrary to his plan.
Sure.
Now he's not trying to. Why? Because it's going to be awkward or something. Like
now he's hiding from the killer.
Right.
There's a woman. I don't know where she's from. I have to click on the article, but the headline made me laugh. This is very OJ-esque. A woman marries a man convicted of killing her brother.
Really? She must have hated her brother.
No shit.
Yeah.
It is a very graphic I do kiss as well.
Or she loved the brother so much, but the guy was so hot. She's like, I forgive you.
I got a real fantasy about killing people.
Just don't do it again.
It's really either one or the other. It's got to be a real hot guy or hated the brother, and that's a plus.
I'm going to tell you right now, judging on these pictures, she hated her brother.
Okay.
Right.
An Ohio woman married a man convicted of killing her half-brother in the 1980s. The couple exchanging vows while he's on house arrest, awaiting a retrial. Oh, my God. I hope and pray within the vows and I solemnly swear I did not kill your brother.
Right. I can't wait to see this on Forensic Files.
Yeah. Till death do us part unless I'm your brother.
Right. So it was a half-brother.
Half-brother.
Wow.
He's from the bad half.
Yeah.
Clearly. Oh my God. They began their strange love when she wrote him a letter saying she forgave him for killing Brian in 1987. And I wrote her back a letter saying, I didn't do it. Take a look at this stuff. I believe in God too, and I know things about it, and I didn't do it. So I guess he sent her evidence, and then they became pen pals, and then love blossomed, and now they've eventually gotten married.
Wow.
I did not do it, and I'm very good at oral.
I hope their wedding song is something with conjugal visits in it.
Killing me softly.
Killing me softly. Hilarious. Oh my God. That's fucking crazy. Jesus.
That had to be before online dating. Because, I mean, talk about a small pool of talent if you're pulling from
kidding.
People that have murdered family members.
I fucking love that. All of this entire week is full of shit like that. There's this one's great. So the Olympics are done. Thank God, because I can't fucking hear about the arguing anymore. I've got a new favorite story. Adam, remember last week someone scored a 0 when they jumped off the diving board and they just did the can opener into the pool instead of an Olympic dive?
It wasn't a Filipino, was it?
No, it was a Canadian.
It was
Like a protest or something?
No, she just forgot her routine and she just did a pencil into the water.
Right. Okay.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
I saw an ill-timed like flippity thing, and the guy just went right in on his back.
I did see that as well. I did see that. Oof. My new favorite event is a top ranked Olympic pentathlete
burst into tears when her horse wouldn't jump over the wooden fence. So she made it. She trained her whole life for this moment, and she gets there and she's riding the horse and she approaches the fence and the horse won't jump and she just burst into tears on the horse.
Oh my God. The horse just stopped and stood there.
Yeah. The horse just stopped there and she just started crying on TV.
That horse's sweet revenge. I'll show you, bitch. I'll show you.
Right. I'm going to wait till the moment to
keep hitting me in
disobey.
the ass with that thing. I'll keep hitting me in the ass with that thing.
Yeah.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
4 years of this. That's got to be some sort of intelligence in horses that the payback was on the grandest stage of them all.
I told you I hated turnips.
Did you see in the MLB? This is fucking crazy. Is the Rockies launched an investigation this week into a fan who was heard shouting a racial slur at a Black Marlins player, Lewis Brinson. And then upon further investigation, they found the fan on camera, and he was just shouting at the Rockies mascot named Dinger.
Ooh.
Dude, it was literally a trending topic that this guy supposedly said the racial slur, and then the camera zoomed in and he was just trying to flag down the mascot, and everyone's like, sorry about that. Here's an update. He was just calling the mascot over. And in other news, we're not going to name the mascot that.
Yeah, don't get a different name for the mascot, man.
Especially if you're screaming Dinger after 5 beers.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I prefer D-word. I think that's what they should rename the mascot.
Oh, my God.
It's fucking crazy, dude. Can you imagine being that guy and having to explain that? Doesn't that sound like something a racist person would say, though?
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying Dinger.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was saying Dinger the whole time.
You're like, that's Mr. Met. Come on.
Right. He's back. Yeah, he's back.
Like, no. Not even.
You backpedaling racist.
Yeah.
Right. Do you remember that announcer that that got fired because he said a racial slur when someone, a girls' high school basketball team knelt for the national anthem, and he said a racial slur picked up in the hot mic, and he said it's because he suffers from diabetes and low blood pressure.
Yes. His blood sugar was low. It made him a racist.
That's
that's like Roseanne. I took an Ambien, and all of a sudden I started saying the most vile shit I could say to someone.
I accidentally started saying shit I was going to say anyways.
not my fault. My subconscious came out.
Right, exactly. It's like if you get hangry and you get racist, you probably just were racist already.
Right. I was taking shots of Robitussin when Cuomo was speaking, and I accidentally sexually assaulted my neighbor.
Damn. Sue everybody.
I fucking love stuff like that. But that really does sound like something that he... No. I was saying Dinger. Oh, I'm sure you were. Throw away the key.
Sure you were.
A Ring camera caught a... All of the stories just are so stupid and silly. An old woman went over to her neighbor's house, and her Ring camera caught her complaining about a flag. So black woman had a flag hanging. This old white woman comes over and goes, "I don't like that flag." And it was literally Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. And she goes, I got to talk about that Tigger flag. I don't like it. And the woman was like from Winnie the Pooh? And she was like, yeah, now we have rules in this community against flags like that. It makes it look like, it makes it look garbage. And the woman was like, the woman goes, this isn't a gated community, and this isn't like a housing board. And she goes, we have rules, and don't make me look them up. I will.
Right. Especially we have rules against flamboyant lions.
Right. Dude, you can't, what are you doing? And she goes, well, thanks for the complaint. I mean, noted. And she was like this, like, poor, sweet Southern woman. She was like, I appreciate your opinion. I'm going to leave it up. It's for my kids. And the woman was like, well, I'm annoyed by it and I'll look up the rules. And she goes, okay, have a good day.
What rules?
I have no idea.
Oh man.
And she didn't even know the rules. She was like, she goes, there's rules. I don't know them, but I'm going to look them up. Speaking of flamboyant, the New York Post has released an article saying that Batman sidekick Robin has been confirmed to be bisexual, according to a new comic. So exactly what everyone's been suspecting this entire time has been confirmed by DC. Robin is bisexual.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm into it. Look, we had, DaBaby went off on, he buried himself with an LGBTQ plus diatribe that he went off in concert. And Robin is here to save the day. Robin finally gets to save the day. This is not Batman's turn. It's finally Robin's turn.
Batman has options.
Well, it sounds like Robin likes options.
Yes.
Well, basically, Robin is 50% straighter than we thought.
Hilarious. Yes.
Because nobody thought Robin was bi.
No.
Let's
That's true.
be real.
Anyone that dresses up like Robin Hood to be a sidekick is, probably doesn't need to make that announcement, and we're okay with it.
It was the tights.
It was the tights. It was for sure the tights. It was the tights. It was, it was, you know what? It was how he reacted to everything. Holy smokes, Batman. It was that. It was the rhyming scheme. Holy coming out parade.
Ambiguously gay duo.
Right. Well, that's what it's after, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, that's so great. Holy brunch, Batman. It's time to solve a mystery. I support it. I like it. I like that it's on the books now. I hope that they make him more flamboyant than he was before. You guys just going to let me die, huh?
Robin laid an
I'm
egg.
actually looking something up. There we
Edit
go.
that out.
Are you, Adam, are you signing on to Grindr to see if you can, if Robin's within your reach?
No, but I do think it's funny. Like if you come out as gay, if you declare or come out that you're gay, then do you have to re-come out if you're bi? If you want to announce that you're bi?
It's interesting. I wonder if there is a hierarchy within the community. See, I've always thought, and I think everything is just changing in the way that people, I think it's more like, look, I want to identify who I really am. I'm attracted to both people and I want everyone to know that, which is great. Do that for yourself. But I always felt the same way when it's like, I'm coming out as bi, or like coming out as gay is like such a huge thing, or it was back in the day. It was like such a huge thing and liberating for yourself. And then to come out and be like, I like both of you guys.
Right. Well, it's like you came all the way out, but then you're like, I'm going halfway back in.
You go halfway. One step forward, one step back.
It's interesting because you got to if you think about those details, you got to differentiate.
I do wonder if one day people are going to start coming out as straight. It's either like everyone announces their sexuality in the future, because there are so many different layers, it's a full spectrum. Or if you have some real hateful person that's like, I'm going to make like a sarcastic announcement of coming out as straight. I wonder if that's going to happen too.
Straight pride.
Right. I think that's just called the Klan.
I didn't mean to raise my fist like that. It was just for the record, my fist was already like this.
I think, look, I like a story where people inspire other people that don't have or don't feel that they have the courage to do something that they believe in. I love that angle of this. But I also, at the same time, I don't think it's anyone's business who you're interested in. And
the fact that we have to make announcements, like that's how backwards everything was for years and years. People didn't just start being gay.
Right.
It's people just started coming out more and more as it was more societally acceptable. And the fact that we're in the situation where people have to feel the need to come out to tell people who they're interested in seems so crazy to me. And again, I totally get the, like, I'm going to inspire the next generation. Yeah. I like that. I think it's great. But I just want to be like, dude, I don't know. For me, I'm just like, it shouldn't matter who cares who you want to fuck.
Right.
And it's not in a hateful way. It's more of like, you don't know this to me. You don't need to tell me who you're interested in.
As long as it's consensual and you're not the mayor.
Right, exactly. Yeah. As long as you, I've come out as aid sexual. I'm only attracted to people underneath me politically.
Yes.
Dude, the whole notion of like having to make an announcement of what you're into is so, I don't know. It's just like, you think of like the progress that everyone that's been in some sort of like minority circumstance in the country, and the fact that like there's still stories like this happening is kind of crazy.
Well, it's interesting because we are talking about not a real person here, so it's kind of like
yeah.
This is also a fictitious.
I went off on a totally real tangent.
Superhero sidekick. But I do think when you're a celebrity, a lot of times it's like just the public sometimes just wants a confirmation. Like, remember for the longest time, like Lance Bass, we were like, he's gay, right? Is he gay?
Right.
And there was a lot of chatter about it. And then he was like, I'm gay. And then nobody talked about it ever again.
Right.
So I think a lot of times it's just like, we just want to know, want to confirm.
Just put it on your IMDb.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I just think it's like, dude, it's inappropriate in a workplace to make sexual advances towards a coworker. And the fact that like there's people, like we're now in the situation where NFL players have to come out, and it's like that shouldn't even go into what we're doing here. like it all just seems so fucking backwards and crazy. And I get it, it's where we're at from society, and it's great to inspire. But yeah, we all knew Rob. We all knew Robin. It's
no surprise
Do
here.
they call him Rob?
I mean, just look at the robin's egg.
That's true.
It's so beautiful and artsy.
You're going to tell me someone named Dick Grayson waited all this time to come out as bisexual? That's great. Did you hear there was a history teacher on OnlyFans that just had to resign? This is, how you see stories of teachers sleeping with their students and female teachers sleeping with like high school students. You're like, where was this when I was in school? And they're like, yeah, they're okay for a teacher. This chick is like a fucking porn star, and she was doing OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
She was a history teacher,
making good money.
Oh yeah, dude, gorgeous. Like, holy shit, crazy for like. I can't believe they hired her as a teacher, to be honest. And she just got and she just got Chris, you're hilarious. And she just got she had to resign from her teaching job.
Really?
Because yes, so they found out she was doing an OnlyFans. Guess how they found out she was on OnlyFans, and it wasn't her students.
She gave all the students a password. It wasn't her students. It wasn't her students.
Her ex-husband.
Always a jealous.
Told the school board about it, and she ended up having to resign because of it.
You ruined it for everybody.
Yeah. Speaking of superheroes, she said she felt like a naughty superhero. I love that I had this side to me that no one at school knew about. I felt like a naughty superhero. Teacher by day, temptress by night, which I'm pretty sure is line for line from the comic that Robin comes out as.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the opening line of that comic.
Wow. Amy
Teacher by day.
Cups.
Yep.
Do you think that's her real name, or is that her OnlyFans name? Probably just her stage name, right?
I think it's her actual name, and I think she got really lucky.
Could you imagine?
Amy Cups.
Imagine?
Amy Cups.
Miss Cups.
Her real name is Amy Tits.
Amy Jugs.
That's fucking great.
Wow. God bless.
Well, speaking of masturbation, let's start to land this here. Speaking of masturbating on OnlyFans, a right-handed man almost masturbates to death in a medical case study.
Is that possible?
This fellow redefined mind-blowing sex after he suffered a life-threatening stroke while repeatedly masturbating. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, Adam, stop looking at Amy Cups' page. I'm going to tell you
you can't make me.
I'm going to tell you right now, the fact that he suffered a stroke while masturbating is proof that there is that God has a sense of humor.
Oh, yes. What was he? I mean, man, he must have really been hitting himself hard.
A 51-year-old right-handed man from Japan admittedly enjoyed pleasuring himself several times a day. However, one explosive love session went awry when, after climaxing, the serial stroker was struck down by thunderclap headaches and severe vomiting.
It's very important that we had those specifics. A right-handed man from Japan. Very important.
You know what my favorite
was this guy right-handed? Where was he from?
Yes.
Where was he from?
He's a southpaw from Taiwan.
I knew it.
Here's my favorite part about all of that is do you think he's like, let me see how many times I can do this in one day? And on the last one, he started throwing up, and he thought that might just be what happens after you run out of semen. You have so many orgasms, You just end up vomiting with headaches.
You got lightheaded.
I have nothing left. I'm just spitting now.
Protein deficiency.
Well, be safe out there, everybody.
Please.
And use your left hand.
Use your left hand and stay in North America.
Well, Chris, I'm going to let you go finish your right-handed business.
Thanks.
Pleasure hanging out as always, my friend.
No, thanks for having me, guys. This was fun. I appreciate it.
Definitely. Look forward to hanging out some more. Where can people find you online?
Chris Roach Live is chrisroachlive.com is my website. Chris Roach Live on TikTok and at Roach Comic on Insta.
Excellent. Go buy his album, Roach Motel, and see Chris performing at a club near you. Adam, what do you got?
At Adam Hittaker on social media.
Perfect. I am, what is it? It's Friday if you're listening. Tonight I am at New York Comedy Club and Dark Horse. Those tickets are available online. Tomorrow I'll be at New York Comedy Club for 2 shows and then Stand Up New York at 11. So a good old city weekend. Come out and see me around the city. And come on back next week, of course, for another episode of Just Joking, presented by the Paper House Network. No interviews, no arguments, just jokes. Come on back. Be safe, masturbating. Hey, you guys still listening? Well, if you like this show, why don't you check out other shows on the Paper House Network, like this?
Hey, comedy fans, make sure you're checking out the New York Comedy Club podcast, the official podcast of the New York Comedy Club. We take an inside look into the world of stand-up comedy as we interview your favorite comedians about the business, the jokes, and the journey as a stand-up comic. So make sure you're checking out the New York Comedy Club podcast, all a part of the Paper House Network.